I recently made a video about the Power Glove and how it was one of the first real steps towards consumer VR technology. But what I didn't know at the time of that video, and only recently discovered by accident, is that Nintendo had developed their own first-party 3D goggles for the Famicom around the same time as the Power Glove.
Nintendo 3D Hot Rally タイムレースに応募するとこんなプレゼントが当たるよ。ホットラリーはスコープなしでも楽しいよ。
Not only that, but it's actually compatible with the Power Glove. Imagine that, a 3D headset with motion controls, all for an 8-bit system in the 1980s. Well, you know that I had to try it out. The 3D system consists of a wired headset and a small hub that plugs into the auxiliary port on the front of your Famicom. To connect the glasses, you just plug in the 3.5mm jack into the hub. There are two ports in case you want to run two headsets. But here's the awesome part. There's a pass-through on the front of the hub to plug in auxiliary controllers, including the Power Glove. So let's try that now. I know it looks like a bit of a Frankenstein with hubs daisy-chained onto other hubs, but it wouldn't really be 80s tech without a bunch of wires going every which way. Unlike the Power Glove, which was painstakingly programmed to be compatible with every single game in the Nintendo library, the 3D system is compatible with a surprisingly small number of games. Luckily though, Rad Racer fits right into that Venn diagram of games that are compatible with both systems. When I first tried this, I thought it was broken because there was no 3D effect at all. But then I realized you have to press the select button to toggle the 3D effect on and off. See how the screen gets blurry and there's a sort of a strobe effect? That means that the 3D effect is on. To create this stereoscopic effect, the screen is actually displaying an offset image every other frame or so, which creates this flickering. The wired glasses use an active shutter that synchronizes to the refresh rate of the TV and the frequency of the images so that each eye processes a different position and then your brain composites it into one 3D image. The benefit of this method is that it doesn't distort the colors the way that cheap paper anaglyph glasses do. The 3D effect is much more natural. Sadly, there's no way to show you this effect on camera, so you're just gonna have to take my word for it. So, let's give it a shot and play some Rad Racer in 3D with motion controls. I'm not gonna lie, the 3D effect is not that impressive. Nothing looks like it's extending beyond the screen so much as it's recessing back into it. It's sort of like that 3D effect of a Magic Eye poster. It's cool, but not super immersive like modern VR. But for me, it isn't as much about the experience that it provides so much as how cool you feel doing it. This is some serious Lawnmower Man style tech.
Is that my hand?
If you want to feel like RoboCop while you play video games, this is the way to do it. With wires hanging off of your face and hands, you get to look awesome and simultaneously like a total dork. What more could you ask for? Looking at this setup and comparing it to an Oculus Quest, for example, the technology is pretty primitive, but you can see the kernels of what VR would come to be pretty clearly, in a much cooler, retro-futurist style. It was also Nintendo's first foray on the doomed path of 3D gaming, which eventually led to the unsuccessful Virtual Boy 8 years later. But Nintendo didn't give up on 3D technology, even after the 3D system and Virtual Boy failed. In fact, it wasn't until even 2 more failed attempts to bring 3D to the Game Boy Advance and the GameCube that Nintendo's vision and persistence finally paid off with the release of the 3DS, which sold a whopping 75 million units, outselling the Nintendo Entertainment System, Super NES, 64, and GameCube. But despite being a commercial and critical failure, and possibly leading to even bigger commercial failures, this is what makes Nintendo Nintendo. And it's the reason why they have so many fans, because they're willing to take risks with new technology and try to expand what's possible with gaming. I, for one, am a fan of this weird little device, and I'm happy to have it in my weird little collection.